Today is the second day of Tishrei, otherwise known as the second day of Rosh Hashanah. I hope that you're listening to this either before Rosh Hashanah or after Rosh Hashanah, but not on Rosh Hashanah itself. We are continuing in the laws of Yom Kippur, chapter 133, and today we will be doing paragraphs 22 through 26. Paragraph 2. If there's a bris on Yom Kippur, then we perform the bris before Ashrei. The paragraph said shortly before the Musaf Amidah, the Musaf Shemona Esrei, which is right after we finish reading the Torah. Now, as part of the bris ceremony, we make a blessing over a cup of wine and we drink that cup of wine. But on Yom Kippur, we're not allowed to eat or drink, so what do? So the custom is that we anyways use a cup of wine, we make the blessing on the cup of wine, and we give a drop or two to the baby, to the newborn infant, to drink. A drop or two means literally we dip our finger in the cup and then stick our pinky with a drop of wine in it in the mouth of the infant for the infant to suck on. Very often, a mother's scenario after giving birth, even 8 days later, might be that the doctors will say that she's so weak, she's still recovering from the birth, that she has to eat on Yom Kippur, and if so, the mother could drink that wine if she's around. Paragraph 23. There are a few points during the service on Yom Kippur when we bow down on the floor. This is done in commemoration of the service that was done in temple times in the temple by the high priest on Yom Kippur, in which everybody gathered around would bow down on the floor, so we do it in shul to remember that. There are laws about what type of floors we're allowed to bow down fully on. We're never allowed to bow down with our arms and feet spread out the way they did it, the way that they really did it in the temple, but we bow down closed up with our hands crouched up, almost like a fetal position, but on our fronts instead of on our backs or on our sides. So even when we're bowing like that, there's halach discussions about what type of floors we're allowed to do that on, and therefore one should put something down on the floor. It could be paper towels, it could be a towel, something else. They're not bowing directly on the floor itself. It doesn't have to be under their entire body, but at least under their knees, maybe one paper towel under your knees, another paper towel by your head. Paragraph 24. The climax of Yom Kippur is the Ne'ilah service. The final service of Yom Kippur said Yom Kippur evening as it's getting dark. We're supposed to end Ne'ilah service with the shofar blast the same time that it becomes fully dark and Yom Kippur is over. Therefore, we should start Ne'ilah when the sun is close to the horizon, like right around the treetop area, when the sun is by the treetops. That's when we begin Ne'ilah in order to finish at the appropriate time. If Ne'ilah ends a little bit past full darkness, it's not a problem. We finish off the service as usual. There is one paragraph in the Ne'ilah service in which we say, Hayom Gifne, the day will fade away. The day is surely going to fade away. So if our Ne'ilah service is going a little bit later into the nighttime, we should switch that word. Instead of saying the day will fade away, we should say the day has faded away. Paragraph 25. This isn't so relevant to us in 2024 with electric lights and timers, but how did they used to have lights in synagogues on Yom Kippur? So they had candles. Well, candles go out. So it was common that they would ask a non-Jewish person to come into shul and light more candles for the Ne'ilah service, the end of Yom Kippur, when it's already dark and there won't be sufficient light coming in from the windows. The Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says that's not really appropriate. Rather, it's better to have candles that are long-lasting, and you could ask somebody not Jewish to spread those candles that are already lit throughout the shul so that people could see, but you shouldn't have them lighting new candles for you. This gets into technicalities of how to ask a non-Jew to do stuff for us on Shabbos or a holiday, which we'll see more when we get to the laws of Shabbos many months down the road. Paragraph 26. Normally on Yom Kippur, after every Shemona Esrei, after every Amidah, we recite the prayer called Avinu Malkeinu, a bunch of lines which start out, Our Father, our King, asking God to listen to us and to give us a good year. However, when Yom Kippur is on Shabbos, we don't say the Avinu Malkeinu prayer, because on Shabbos, we're supposed to limit our supplications. However, by the Ne'ilah service, the final service of Yom Kippur, even if it ends on Shabbos, because we're at the climax of Yom Kippur, we say Avinu Malkeinu. As you'll see in the Machzor of Yom Kippur, in the Yom Kippur prayer book, we end off Ne'ilah with a resounding proclamation of the Shema, of the line that we say, expressing our complete devotion to Hashem. The Chazan, the leader, says it, and then the entire congregation belts out, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Listen, Israel, Hashem, God is our God, God is one. We then recite, Baruch Shem Kavod Machusol Ilam Ve'ed. Blessed is the name of His glorious kingdom for all eternity. We see that 3 times. And then 7 times we say, Hashem Hu Elokim, Hashem, only He is God. At that point, Kaddish is recited by the Chazan, and we end with a final shofar blast. After which everyone shouts out, L'shana haba b'Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem. Even if Yom Kippur isn't fully over, it's not fully dark outside, once we're in the Bein HaShemashos, that twilight period after the sun has gone down before it's fully dark, we are able to blow the shofar, and this is true even if it is on Shabbos. However, if for whatever reason somebody was davening Ne'ilah early, and when they finish Ne'ilah, it's still light outside, the sun hasn't gone down, then they do not blow the shofar. This concludes today's learning. Have a great day, and see you tomorrow.